Hey there everybody, today I'm going to be showing how to make a paint stick knife. Now this is the paint stick. I've removed the label and everything from it, and I have marked out the edge of where I want the blade to stop, the front and the back. And I'm going to show you how to shake this and turn it into a paint stick knife and include wooden pins. Okay, so I have locked the paint stick into the vise, and I'm going to be using a wood cutting saw. This one's a little bit dull, but it'll work. And I'm going to end up cutting the paint stick off at the point I have marked. I'm going to cut it off, and then I will begin to shape the point of the blade. So if I can line. Okay, so after you cut off the excess on your paint stick, I have cut mine down to 9 inches. Lock in the vise, marking where you have the point of the blade where you're going to want it. Then take any kind of file that'll work on wood, metal. You can use whatever. Adjust this a little bit. Have the blade in the vise, and then just start to file it down to where it gets the shape. Or if you have a bandsaw, coping saw, anything that you can turn to where you can cut curve, just use it instead of using a file. But I don't have access to one of those currently, so I am doing this rather long method. Okay, so we are working on the paint stick knife. You may ask why I'm wearing a different shirt. I'm back in on a different day. This is more of a 2-day project for me, but I have cut 2 pieces of paint stick and locked them in a bench vise. These are going to be the handle scales for a knife. Now, they're both the same length, and I'm going to shape them. If you don't do them both, they're not going to look exactly right. I'm going to start with some 60 grit sandpaper, and I'll probably work my way up to probably about 120. And then just shape. Actually, I'm just going to use either file, sandpaper, rasp, anything that will work to shape something. Use that. Okay, so the next step is to glue all the pieces together. I have both scales, both handle scales, and I have the blade blank. So I'm using Gorilla Wood Glue. Okay, so what you do is you set this, obviously you want to glue it up first. So glue it up, open the glue, and you put the glue onto the scale. I hate these things. These things are difficult. Hold on a second. Okay, so get the glue onto the scale, and if you want to, you can take a piece of just scrap wood, just smear that glue onto all over the scale. Just get it all onto it. And it's okay if you get a little bit on your fingers. Trust me, it's not much okay with me, but it's fine if you do. It's just wood glue. So get it onto one scale. Then put the glued side onto the knife blank. Then repeat the process on the second scale. Okay, so the next step in making the knife is you want to drill the holes for the pins. I'm using a 1/4 inch bit, and it's really easy to just line it up where you think the pins need to go. You want to make sure it's very close. And once it's through, just bring your drill out. That what I did doesn't happen to you. And just drill the second hole. So after you drill the pin holes, I already cut these 2 pieces of dowel to length. They're probably pretty close to what they need to be. And I've already slipped them into the hole I drilled. But as you can probably tell, these did not line up correctly. This is the first knife I've really done, so I didn't do what I probably should have. But if you line it up correctly, good. You can glue the pins in, but you do not have to. what you can do is take a hammer, or in my case, a pair of pliers, and then just tap them in to where they fit and are roughly flush to the side of the knife. Then after you've done that, you can just saw them off to length and then sand them flush with the rest of the knife. That's basically all to it. After you file it to the shape you want and feels good in your hand, that's pretty much it. If you want to add a mock bevel, you can. You don't have to bevel this thing the whole way. You can take it as far as you want. It's just a simple, fun little project. You can polish this thing up to 600 grit if you want to. Put a polyurethane finish. Do however nice or however simple you want. You can get, after you do it, give it as a gift to a friend or something. It's just a nice little thing to do over a weekend during a summer break, winter break. If you got 20 minutes a day to spare, just work on something and something's going to come together eventually. I want to mention that this video did take me several days to finish because I didn't finish it all in the weekend. But if that's why you see me wearing different shirts in this video, it's because this was a more than 1 day video. So, just in case you got confused about that, I thought I'd enlighten you about that.